Hey, welcome back everyone. We are now in the final days of February as we get closer to the official release of the Obi-Wan Kenobi TV show, which by the way drops on May 25th. A lot of Star Wars fans are also looking forward to shows like The Bad Batch Season 2, Star Wars Andor, which by the way is slated to release by this summer, and we also have, of course, the long-awaited Mandalorian Season 3, which by the way, right now, Jon and Dave Filoni are really working very hard on the final scenes of that new season. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way, guys, I am on Twitter at Mike01 if you guys want to go ahead and give me a follow on there. I do post a couple of entertaining things from time to time and really make sure to interact with you guys further. So what's even all the more exciting right now is that yes, we are getting very close to the Mandalorian Season 3, pretty much wrapping principal photography and getting into post-production. Now, there's a lot of things that have been happening behind the scenes between Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, and George Lucas, is that they are dragging in a lot of Star Wars Legends content into Mando Season 3, while also providing a lot of retcons toward the sequel trilogy movies that's going to involve characters like Palpatine, Snoke, and yes, even Luke Skywalker. Now, on top of all of this, we do know that one major thing that George, Jon, and Dave are approaching for the third season of Mando is that it's going to have a lot of teases of what's to come for the fourth season, which is going to be treated as the final season of the series. Now, given that we have a lot of characters coming back into the third season, such as Luke Skywalker, Grogu, and even Djarin and Ahsoka Tano, there's also going to be a host of new Star Wars characters that will be unveiled in the third season as well. Now, we already know that Mando Season 4 is going to have a large connection to the Ahsoka Tano series, and Mando Season 3 is going to set everything up for all of that. Now, on top of all of this, what's really exciting is that with both Disney and Lucasfilm getting ready to wrap filming for, of course, Mando Season 3, they are prepared to actually film a major scene for the second half of the show that is set to involve many big-name characters in the series. Now, further, it's described that Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni already have the sets built for Mando Season 3, and that the scene is described to create a saga-wide implication and impact how fans view some of the Star Wars movies. Now, it's described that one of the major scenes is set to involve a character codenamed the Mixer, where the Mixer is described to be some kind of scientist that once worked for the Empire and is now working on gene splicing and cloning techniques that will be explored in the series. Now, this is described to have big ties to Palpatine and one of his new clones that will be teased for the Mandalorian Season 3. Now, it's noted, however, that Luke Skywalker is going to reappear about midway through the series again to inform Din Djarin about the secret location that is holding the Mixer and his knowledge about the Palpatine clone that will be unveiled in Mando Season 3. Now, this entire scene is described to also involve Luke Skywalker giving Din Djarin some kind of strange device that will bring him to the location where Luke agrees to meet up with him later on. So let me just stop right here for 1 second, is that we already know that Jon and Dave are going to be creating a lot of nods toward the sequel trilogy movies, but they're also going to be creating a lot of retcons toward the sequel trilogy films and how it's going to involve Palpatine and Snoke. So we'll be diving into this a little bit more later on, but one thing is for certain is that we already know that the third season is going to have a lot to do with cloning. It's going to have a lot to do with Din and Luke Skywalker having, scenes together for the very first time. We haven't really seen them together, all that much besides the Season 2 finale. But this time around, they are going to have their own mission, in a sense, in the third season of Mando. Now, we already know that Mando Season 3 is going to have a time jump. How significant is the time jump is a big question open on the table for discussion. One thing is for certain is that we do know that the fourth season is going to have a significant time jump. We're talking about years. So it's very possible that the third season is just going to be by a couple of months for all we know. Moving on. Now, of course, Grogu is said to be separated again from Din at this point in time, where he is now in the hands of Ahsoka Tano for the time being, as both Luke and Din are set to seek this mysterious location on a brand new world that has never been seen before in both the Disney canon and or Star Wars Legends. Like in previous Mando seasons, the story of cloning will further be explored and how it connects to a secret project that is connected to both Palpatine and Snoke. Both Jon and Dave Filoni are set to create some major retcons for the Snoke clones, and how it's going to change how fans view Episode 9. Both Jon and Dave Filoni are set to be teasing of what's to come for The Mandalorian Season 4 with this upcoming season, and by creating some major changes about Palpatine's cloning process, and new revelations about the Snoke program. Not just that, however, but new revelations will be unveiled about Grogu and why the remnants of the Empire want him in his blood. Fans are also set to actually learn about the official name of Grogu and Yoda's species in the 3rd season of The Mandalorian that will take fans by surprise. So that's another thing to be aware of, is that in the 3rd season of Mando, we are going to be learning a lot more about Grogu and Yoda's species, the official name of their species. Now that's going to be a big debate. Is this a good decision on Lucasfilm's part to kind of demystify Grogu and Yoda's species? I, however, think it's a good thing to go and pursue the fact that we will be learning more about not only what the name of their species is, but exactly where they really come from, what their true home world is going to be. We're going to be learning all about that now in the official Disney canon, so that's another thing to look forward to. So that's one thing that Jon and Dave Filoni, as well as George, are being very careful with. Now, one scene that is already planned to be shot is set to involve Luke Skywalker examining one of the Snoke clones in this secret facility. In fact, many puppeteers were hired to take control of a Snoke clone in front of the CG version of Luke, which could very well hint towards a full-on battle between Luke and a clone of Snoke in Mando Season 3. A total of a number of 6 puppeteers were hired for the Snoke puppet that involves a large broken glass container in the back, which could very well indicate a Snoke creature breach in the facility. Now, this is described to be toward the 6th chapter of Season 3 of Mando, and how it's really going to tie directly into Season 4. Now, one thing that we realized with the Book of Boba Fett is that it is setting up for a lot of these characters to come together again, such as Luke and Ahsoka, and how Luke asked, Ahsoka Tano, will I ever see you again? Of how, of course, Din Djarin's going to later meet up with Grogu again. There's a lot of things happening here, and the fact that we have Ahsoka Tano taking care of Grogu while all this happens and while all of this goes down, where Luke and Din Djarin are seeking the Mixer. So the Mixer, like I said before, is going to be an ex-Empire scientist in a sense, that deals with a lot of cloning, that deals with a lot of new secrets about Palpatine and the Snoke program. So there's a lot at hand here. There's a lot of things happening behind the scenes. Everything related to, how Jon and Dave are going to be providing a lot of retcons to the sequel trilogy movies and creating all these connections to Snoke and Palpatine. Now, I think that this pretty much confirms at this point that the creature that we saw in earlier episodes of The Mandalorian, where Cara Dune and crew got to actually witness that creature in the tank, it's pretty apparent that that is indeed a Snoke clone, or a Palpatine abomination, if you will. So that really kind of connects everything further to The Mandalorian Season 3 and Season 4, and exactly what's to come for the story of Luke, Din Djarin, the Mixer, and of course Snoke in this particular secret facility on this world that once belonged to the Empire. So overall, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.